The Iguanodon TLC is now available in Path of Titans alongside the Critters Deinonychus update, or Critters and Deinonychus and Iguanodon TLC update, which is a massive update. But this is the Iguanodon TLC. Let's talk about it. So, in terms of subspecies, some of them have changed in terms of their soft stats that you get per species because of overall changes. I'll read them out. So, for the first one, which is Bernissartensis, it's plus 10% health recovery. And then you have Galvanensis, which is plus 10% bipedal armor. And then you've got Anglicus, which is plus 10% quadrupedal damage. In terms of the look of the subspecies, they all look gorgeous, but let's go ahead and check them out in game. Now, in terms of the baby hasn't really changed that much, and arguably the model hasn't really changed all that too much. The baby looks adorable, and I've noticed like there's so many like babies with just really dark eyes. The Deinonychus baby had the same thing where sometimes its eyes were white and then sometimes it wasn't. But anyways, this looks really nice. I mean, the Iggy babies always look nice. It still, to me, kind of doesn't look like a baby, but I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, in terms of damage and the attacks, you get one attack, which is Fun Barrage. And it puts you in a bipedal stance to do it. I feel like you have to be bipedal to do this attack. Anyways, when you're doing it on a baby, this is what it looks like. Now, this attack is a barrage attack. The standard attack is not available anymore. So, at first, this will do, 3 big hits, and it absolutely shreds. If you're talking about fighting babies, this thing does a lot of damage to a baby. The Iguanodon TLC comes with a lot of abilities that you can equip. Now, of course, for some reason I have none, but these are all of them. So, bipedal stance is your passive. It's the only passive. It allows you to go onto your hind legs. While you're in bipedal, you gain increased turning speed and stamina recovery. Now, this is basically crouch, but for this dinosaur. For sensors, you get 3 options here. You get Family Chorus, which is when you're in a group with other hadrosaurs, gain a 10% increased stamina recovery. This also applies to each hadrosaur in your group within 50 meters of you. Stacks up to 4 times. Then you get Retaliate, which is while you're bipedal, deal 20% increased damage for 2 seconds after being hit with an attack, and then you move into Trampling Feet. You gain 3 times trample damage when in a group. Group members are now immune to your trample damage, which I think is awesome. Then you go to your front limb. Now, the majority of your attacks, especially offensive attacks, come from your front and back limbs, so you want to make sure you have room for them here. Now, you get Arm Slam, which is an area of effect armor-piercing attack. And then you get Block, which obviously negates any incoming damage that comes to your head, neck, or body. You use a stamina, and it's only going to be up for a little bit of time. You have to time it right. They get Quadrupedal, which deals 20% increased damage while not bipedal. Running Start gains 2 times acceleration while not bipedal. Fun Barrage is a quick attack that increases in power with each hit. Looks like you're not getting your normal Fun attack anymore. It's been replaced with Fun Barrage, Block, and Arm Slam. Metabolism, you get Forager and Herbivore. For your hide, you get Resilient Scales. Second Wind, which is when receiving a hit in combat, you receive 2 stamina, which isn't that much, but it's pretty interesting to note. Thick Scoots as well as the final hide. Then you go to your legs, you get 3 legs abilities. Braced Legs, Gauntlets, and Hero's Stand. Hero's Stand is quite interesting because if you land any attack against an enemy, you will get 1 stack of Heroic. Reaching 3 stacks will apply Hero's Stand to all group members within 50 meters. It increases their attack damage by 25% for 20 seconds, and that is pretty neat. Like, that's awesome. Anyways, back limb, because you get 5 more abilities here. Some passive, some offensive. You get a back kick, which is a attack that does high damage. You get a charge, standard, pivot, planted feet, and a tail attack. So you get 3 attack worthy stuff there. And that's all of the abilities for this dinosaur. In terms of stats, you've got 4,000 combat weight and 750 health, which is quite beefy for this dinosaur. But of course, I mean, one of the things is you have to see how that stacks up. In terms of, obviously, this Fun Barrage, which was really good last time, this is what it's like on the adult Allosaurus as opposed to the baby. So, obviously, it's not as much before. Now, this isn't a stacking ability like that of, you know, Raptor Strikes or Claw Barrage from Suko. This is just a free swipe attack. Apparently, it increases in power with every hit, but it doesn't show a logo for that here. The last hit is definitely the strongest. I'm not sure if the second is stronger than the first, but it's one of those ones. I definitely recommend you use it. The next one is the Stomp. Now, this Stomp is an area of effect stomp. However, it's armor piercing. So this is mainly for things that are stronger than it. And look at the amount of damage. If I hit this guy in the head, maybe. Yeah, it's so much damage that this Stomp attack does. That is incredible. And it's got a very small cooldown as well. And obviously that scales in terms of armor because it ignores the armor the armor that dinosaurs have. So if something's got higher armor than Iguanodon, that doesn't really matter. You've also, of course, got your back kick, which is nice. It does a decent amount of damage. Obviously not a massive amount compared to that slam, but it's still pretty good. In terms of tail attacks, there is obviously 2 more. You've got your tail attack, which is a standard attack. I'm pretty sure this does knockback. Yeah, it does very little damage, and it does knockback. So it's always good to keep dinosaurs off your rear. Now, the other attack is the charge. Now, one thing I do want to say, this thing gallops again. Oh, look at that. So beautiful. Let's see what it's like when it charges. There you go. It runs on its hind legs when it charges, and then straight into the Allosaurus like that. And it's a decent amount of damage. Would I pick the charge over everything else? I'm not actually too sure. That being said, there is still one more attack that we need to test. Now, one thing that is important before I showcase this final attack is obviously the bipedal stance. So this pretty much acts as crouch. So this is the max movement speed that you're going to be getting while you're in bipedal. If you sprint, you go on your quadrupedal stance. A lot of your attacks are only usable in this stance. For example, block, you have to go into bipedal stance to do. And with the stomp, you can't do it in quadrupedal stance. And claw barrage, you can only do in the bipedal stance as well. It's obviously interesting to note. But speaking of block, let's showcase that. So there are 2 ways that this needs to be tested. Obviously, we need to get a test subject to really quickly bite the Iguanodon to showcase how much damage that does. There you go. And then I need to somehow do this at the exact same time where we get the blocking. So if we go right now, we will do the block and then we bite. And as you can see, it's so much less. And you can hold this for a while actually. There you go. That was held down there and you can do it. You can just keep holding it. And they're doing nothing to you. And then you can just go out and slam them like that, just straight off the cuff. That's insane. That is a really good ability. If you use it right, of course, it's only for face tanking situations and obviously not when they're riding your ass. But yeah, I recommend that to have on hand if you think you need it. If you're going to be more ballsy, maybe you won't need it. Now, in terms of skins and how they look on the new model of the Iguanodon, by the way, I just want to say this species looks so derpy for some reason. Anyways, let's have a look at the skins, shall we? So, this is the default skin right here, of course. I think the default skin has actually changed quite a bit, although can someone verify that for me? Then you got Bard, gorgeous. The thing is with these new... you've got Backer, and then the next one is a paid skin as well, Fossil. But the thing is with these remodels, they make the skins look so much more better because the skins are then going on to a model that's had a new map and everything, new detail, and it just like, look at how pretty this is now. This is gorgeous. So, of course, when it comes like this, Meadow is a skin I never thought I'd ever contemplate using on Iguanodon, nor did I ever think I'd play Iguanodon, but now I want an Iguanodon with the Meadow skin. That is a really pretty skin. Hats off to the developers on this one, like this skin as well. It's so much more vibrant now. And then obviously you go to your Melanistic, your Albino, and then finally Mango popping out once again. There is one more thing that I do want to showcase, and that is Hero Stand. However, the issue is with Hero Stand, I think you need to be in a group in order to apply it. So let's really quickly test if we can actually do this, or we need to be in a group. So let's apply some attacks. Oh, there you go. So now I have the Hero Stand effect, and while I have it, I can obviously apply more, and it kind of refreshes it as the hits stack. So if you're in a group, right, this is the important thing. You can stack Hero Stand for as long as you feel necessary. You've got 25% increased attack damage, and it's just infinite. Like, if you keep doing that, it will refresh it. Because if you hit all of your Claw or Thumb Barrage consecutively, you're just constantly getting that stack of Hero Stand, which is a constant extra boost to your damage, if I recall that, and your group's damage as well, which is insane. So, yeah, I recommend Hero Stand massively. I needed to show that because, yeah, that was one of the brand new abilities, and that had the heroic effect. And now, really quickly, I mean, I'm sorry, little man. There you go, 2 hits, and you already got like 2 of the heroic thing, but you don't have the full one yet. And it kind of rolls like that. I do wonder if, like, if I were to find and attack a critter, would it count as a hit? It probably wouldn't because it's not a dinosaur, right? But yeah, that's the Iguanodon TLC. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you think. I think this is huge. This is, like, model-wise, not the biggest TLC in the world. But in terms of, like, the actual gameplay change that this has for this dinosaur, it's huge. This thing has finally gotten the love it deserves, and I am very, very happy with this. And, of course, the brand new bipedal stance. Look at it. It's so beautiful. I love it so much, and I'm sure you all will as well when you get to play it. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. If you are new, feel free to subscribe. I'll have a full update overview of this update coming in the next 2 days. I'm streaming it tomorrow, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But until then, I'll see you next time. Have a great day.